Quon had always known that he was different from other kids. While they played games and hung out together, Quon found himself lost in his own thoughts, imagining entire worlds and stories in his head. It wasn't until he was a teenager that he learned that he was an attractor, an immortal god, which many would say, one of a small group of people with the power to bring their fantasies to life. At first, Quon was hesitant to embrace his powers, known as attractors. He had heard stories of attractors losing control of their creations, causing chaos and destruction. But eventually he realized that he could use his gift for good. He decided to create Fantasium Garden, a place where attractors could come together and use their powers to make the world a better place. Quon became the leader of the attractors in Fantasium Garden, using his natural charisma and wisdom to guide them. Together, they created beautiful works of art, helping people in need and even preventing disasters from happening. Quon's true test as an attractor came when his friend Yuma and Yuma's sister Kiri were kidnapped by a group of rogue attractors. Quon and his team of attractors set out to rescue them, using their powers to create new worlds and illusions to outsmart their enemies. The rescue mission was a dangerous one, with Quon and his team facing obstacles and challenges at every turn. But Quon refused to give up even when it seemed like all hope was lost. With his leadership and guidance, the team was able to save Yuma and Kiri and bring the rogue attractors to justice. From that day on, Quon's reputation as a leader and hero among the attractors was solidified. He continued to lead Fantasium Garden, inspiring a new generation of attractors to use their powers for good and make the world a more magical place. Meanwhile, in the land of dreams, anything is possible. The vibrant colors and fantastical landscapes of the dream world make it a playground for the imagination. However, sometimes even the most innocent of dreams can turn into a nightmare. One such nightmare had taken hold of a young boy's mind, trapping two attractors, Tay and Epsilon, within its clutches. The boy's dream had become a prison, and Tay and Epsilon were unable to escape. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. And still the attractors were trapped in the boy's dream. They tried to communicate with him to let him know that they were not part of his dream, but the boy couldn't hear them. He was lost in his own dream, and he couldn't be awakened. That's when Quon, the leader of the attractors, received a distress call from Tay and Epsilon. He knew that he had to act fast. Without hesitation, he gathered a team of skilled attractors and set out on a mission to save his friends. The journey was long and treacherous, filled with obstacles and challenges at every turn. But Quon and his team were determined to succeed. They fought their way through the twisted corridors of the boy's dream, battling monsters and overcoming obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. Finally, they reached the heart of the boy's dream, where they found Tay and Epsilon trapped in a dark, twisted nightmare. Without hesitation, Quon and his team sprang into action, using their powers to break the nightmare and free their friends. The boy woke up and Tay and Epsilon were finally free. Quon and his team had succeeded in their mission, and they returned to the Fantasium Garden victorious. From that day forward, the boy dreamed only sweet dreams, and Tay and Epsilon were forever grateful to Quon for saving them from the nightmare that had trapped them for so long. After the intense experience in the dream world, Quon and his friends returned to the Fantasium Garden. However, they were not given much time to rest. The attractors were soon confronted by Shun, a powerful enemy who challenged Quon to a fight. Shun was a formidable opponent with incredible speed and strength. He seemed to be one step ahead of Quon at every turn, anticipating his every move. However, Quon was not one to back down from a challenge. With determination and skill, he fought back with all his might. The battle between Quon and Shun was fierce. With each exchanging powerful blows, it was a spectacle to behold, with the two warriors displaying their incredible skills and strength. However, in the end, Quon emerged victorious. He had overcome the odds and proved himself to be a worthy opponent. After the fight, Quon and his friends learned of the existence of Custos, a group of powerful beings who sought to destroy the Fantasium Garden. They knew that he had to act quickly to protect their home. The battle against Custos was one of the toughest fights the attractors had ever faced. The Custos members were incredibly strong and seemed to be invulnerable to most attacks. However, Quon and his friends refused to give up. They fought with all their might, using every trick and skill they had to defeat their enemies. In the end, it was Quon who dealt the final blow to Custos, destroying their leader and ending their threat once and for all. It was a hard-won victory, but one that was well-deserved. After the battle, Quon was reunited with his brother Towa, who had been brainwashed by Kamishiro. another powerful enemy. Quon had to fight his brother, but he refused to give up on him. With the help of his friends, he was able to break the brainwashing and bring his brother back to the side of good. With Custos defeated and his brother back by his side, Quon felt a sense of peace and contentment. He knew that there would always be new challenges to face, but with his friends and family by his side, he was ready for anything that came his way. So ends another epic chapter of Quon's adventure. From battling Custos to facing off against his own brother Towa, Quon has proven time and time again that he's a force to be reckoned with. With his quick thinking and incredible power, he's become a legend in the world of attractors. So here's to Quon and all the amazing adventures he's yet to embark on. We can't wait to see what he does next, so stay tuned.